what she says. So when I fail her, you will know exactly how to punish me. This poem is called Spring. I have been trying to read King Lear. End up drinking red wine and talking about the tropics. Thought there might be a poem in the play, maybe the way he talks about the button on his coat before he dies standing, carrying the body of the hanged. Maybe the part where she refuses to bargain and the maps on the table are redrawn. I am sleeping. Elsewhere, you are finishing Tess of the D'Urbervilles, those last chapters before they end up at Stonehenge, and Angel says to Tess, "Sleepy, my dear, I think you are lying on the altar." The part where the book lets them hold each other without sleepwalking or lies. Angel has traded in his harp for a tin kettle and bread. They picnic in a damask curtained bed, a fugitive and an accomplice. I may be turning towards the branch of apple blossom bearing its burden of the raindrops in an even more buoyant aspect than the night before. Now you are the caretaker, finding Tess's fine silk stockings draped on the damask coverlet in the house they squat in, giving both of them away. That tree in the side yard not yet in the kind of flower to release it and uncover it again. Everything, everything, and before everything, the possibility of something else. The moment when a moral gets minced by an account a body makes of any other body, and time takes place instead of taking time. Cordelia, with the armies of her husband scouring the unharvested corn of her homeland for her naked, wandering, delusional father. Tess at the dairy, good at her job. Angel in the field, his fingers on the strings of his harp. You, carrying me into a lake in August, the summer my mother left the earth. Thank you.
The last poem from W.H. Auden's 1955 book, which won the 1956 National Book Award, The Shield of Achilles. This is Lauds. Among the leaves the small birds sing, the crow of the cock commands awaking, in solitude for company. Bright shines the sun on creatures mortal, men of their neighbors become sensible, in solitude for company. The crow of the cock commands awaking. Already the mass bell goes dong ding, in solitude for company. Men of their neighbors become sensible. God bless the realm, God bless the people, in solitude for company. Already the mass bell goes dong ding. The dripping mill wheel is again turning, in solitude for company. God bless the realm, God bless the people. God bless this green world temporal, in solitude for company. The dripping mill wheel is again turning. Among the leaves the small birds sing, in solitude for company. Now I'm trying to start a national movement of poets to write poems that are the size of mandatory television screens, so that when you get into a New York City taxi cab, you can just paste your poem right there. Or you go to the airport, you can paste your poem up there. So I'm starting this movement with the poem that my sons challenged me to write, 4 inscriptions for gas pump televisions. And we need thousands of these poems, so get started tonight. 4 inscriptions for gas pump TVs. Midway the forest certain parts its dark curtain. Ride into the sunrise, the future roars from the passing lane. A dividing line binds the shook. Where are you going, gleaner? Tears travel seawards. How do you like their driving? They can be improved upon. And I'd like to read one more poem. I'll read the first poem in my book, Red Rover. This is The Owl. I thought somehow a piece of cloth was tossed into the night, a piece of cloth that flew up, then across beyond the window. A tablecloth or handkerchief, a knot somehow unfolding, folded, pushing through the thickness of the dark. I thought somehow a piece of cloth was lost beyond the line, released, although it seemed as if a knot still hung unfolding. Some human hand could not have thrown that high or lent such force to cloth. And yet I knew no God would mind a square of air so small. And still it moved, and still it swooped, and disappeared beyond the pane. The after image went, a blot beyond the icy glass. And closer there stood winter grass so black it had no substance, until I looked again and saw it tipped with brittle frost. An acre there, a commonplace, a line of trees, a line of stars. So look it up. You'll find that you could lose your sense of depth. A leaf, a sheaf of paper, pillowcase, or heart-shaped face, a shrieking hiss like winds, like death all tangled there in branches. I called this poem The Owl, the name that like a key locked out the dark, and later let me close my book and sleep a winter dream. And yet the truth remains that I can't know just what I saw, and if it comes each night, each dream, each star, or not at all, it's never evident that waiting has no reason. The circuit of the world belies the chaos of its forms, the kind of thing astronomers look down to write in books. And still I thought a piece of cloth had flown outside my window, or human hands had freed a wing, or churning gods revealed themselves, or greater news, a northern owl, a snowy owl descended. Thank you.
This has been an extraordinary 2 days, and I'm glad you all showed up, but this kind of program is kind of selfish for me because I'm a huge fan of all the people here today, and I'm so, so grateful to these poets for coming to New York City, flying in, training in, driving in, to have an unbelievably interesting discussion last night and read their amazing poems today. So just help me thank them again. Stewart, Burt, Longenbach, Susan Stewart, and Elizabeth Alexander, who was with us last night, but couldn't be here tonight, and Maureen McLane. It's been fantastic. So thanks so much all for coming.